Welcome into the closed mind, where we venture into topics that will free the mind. We are your hosts, Risc and Eladia, and we are going to be your guides through this ongoing journey of
life.
Yes. Of life.
So it's about 7 o'clock, and it's like 0 degrees in here.
Very cold. But we are... I wish you liked coffee.
He's staring at you through the window.
Oh, wow.
Oh, how cute.
Stop. So embarrassing.
Oh, my God.
No, but he put this whole thing together.
Yes, huge.
In the matter of 2 nights.
Huge shout out to Miss Eladia and her man.
My boo thing, my soulmate. You know, a lot of people don't like the word soulmate.
Why?
I don't know. They say that you don't really have a soulmate. People come into your lives and like play a part in your life. Do you know what I'm saying?
And I understand that, but I do believe in soulmates because even when they play a part in your life, you still have that connection to them regardless of how it ended or not, I feel like.
Nelson Mandela said, "There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living."
I want for that one person to go about their day a whole different version of them.
Yeah, like
themselves. Like they're going to come into life like, I'm going to tear it up. No, we're tearing it up.
Your need for acceptance can make you invisible in this world. Don't let anything stand in the way of the light that shines through this form. Risk being seen in all of your glory.
Find yourself and everything comes to you.
Nice.
You will literally attract everything that you deserve once you do it yourself.
Yep.
You want to be in the driver's seat of your own life, because if you're not, life will drive you.
Failure is good. And we look at it so negatively.
Okay, so let's change the script. No, seriously, let's change the script. Let's get into
our stories.
I think that would be our first episode. And it would only be right to be our first episode.
Right. We want you guys to really feel us on a raw, intimate level. Mm-hmm. And to do so, you must know all the
nitty gritty
about us.
The rawness.
This is a lot of pressure. I'm going to tell you why.
It's a huge responsibility.
One, it's one thing to have to talk into this mic and tell you guys all about it. But 2, I got to tell the cameras.
If you feel more comfortable with me starting, I'll start. Just for the sake of your centerpiece.
But will you feel centered?
Yeah, I'll feel centered.
Okay, do that.
I got this. Let me just go all in. Oh, got that knuckle cracking. My name's Eladia. I am a mother of 4. I'm 27 years old, and my story goes back. Well, I like to say my story started in high school. I guess my most dramatic times happened in high school. I had my best times as a child, maybe my home life wasn't as perfect, but I really made the most of it. I had a lot of friends, different types of friends, so I really got to enjoy the different types of life. Like, I guess I was exposed to every type of life you can think about. I was very blessed with, I was telling Risc, I was real outgoing. I wanted to be everybody's friend. That was just me. That's just my personality. I, love meeting new people. And that's just my thing. So when I got into high school, that's like the biggest change in somebody's life, especially when you're not with the people that you really know. So I went to 3 different middle schools because my sisters were like crazy. They were just a whole different type of breed. I love them to death. But yeah, so I went to 3 different middle schools. One, because my sister was just not doing well at her school, so we ended up moving to one. Then my sister ended up getting in trouble at the other school, so I ended up having to move to another. But I loved it because I know so many different people from each middle school.
Yeah.
So it's like one was in a real good area. Then it was like, okay area. And then it got to like, okay, we in the
hood.
we in the hood now, you know? So again, me being exposed to all different types of people, going into high school not knowing my people.
Right.
You know, it was like, yeah, I knew some people, but so the only reason I went to my high school is because my mom worked there. So she wanted to keep a good eye on me, all that good stuff. Well, it didn't work out that way because, you know, when your mom works at your school, you just think you can do whatever you want. So I guess I went in with that mindset. You know, my mom's gonna let me do whatever I want. So I think, you know, freshman year was a real exciting year for me because first of all, I'm going into high school. I'm ready to meet all different types of people. I mean, different people. And I did. And I, you know, tried to join as many, you know, things as I could. Like, I think it was called Section K, where you go to all the basketball games, the football games. I was like, I'm about to do this. I got into some voluntary stuff. But it just never really sparked something in me.
Right.
So I guess, you know, my biggest thing was dancing. I loved to dance. So I had a real close girl group. And we just decided to put together a little dance group. And I did dancing for like my whole high school years.
Oh, wow.
But, you know, while doing that, you know, just going into my high school situations, I feel like everybody has their own high school situations, but mine were just like, I wasn't a partier. I wasn't a smoker or anything. I was just like let's go to parties and let's have fun. I'm going to be real extra type person.
Right.
So I definitely enjoyed myself. But then around my sophomore year, actually end of freshman, I got into a relationship that I was really in for the rest of my high school years. And it definitely changed my life.
Right.
It definitely changed my life because I really was fulfilling something in me through someone.
Through someone, yeah.
So when I got that attachment to that person in my relationship, I was just like, it was like an addiction.
Right. You were consumed
I was
in
obsessed with it.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with the attention. I was obsessed with the friendship and the connection. I'm just like, yo, how can a connection be this strong?
Yeah.
You know, and I loved it. I'm not going to tell you everything was perfect because it definitely wasn't.
Right.
But again, I was just obsessed with the connection that we had. He was definitely my best friend for a long time. I learned a lot of myself from him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really did forget about myself because I was so consumed in that relationship. So I think forgetting myself really skyrocketed the whole losing focus.
Yeah.
Like, I was a real big class clown from the beginning, even through middle school. But I started not turning in my homework. I started skipping class. It was just, I wasn't conscious about what was going on. I felt like all my decisions were based on
impulse.
Or where is this going to lead me and him? Like, it wasn't a me. It was, gosh, when I get out of high school, it's just going to be great with me and him. Like,
oh, like it was just like all, like that's all you saw.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I saw. I didn't see myself. I didn't see a vision for myself. I didn't even know what I wanted to do.
Damn, that's deep.
Yeah. So it was just like,
damn, that's deep. I felt that.
Yeah,
I feel that.
I grabbed onto him, you know? Yeah, so I dropped out my junior year. And honestly, I don't even remember if I was good at school. I know that sounds really bad, but you know, for freshman year, I remember turning in my work, but I wasn't like a B student.
So it was like you were just going through the
motions.
I
was just going through the motions. Thank you. That was a great way to say it because, again, unconscious decisions.
Yes.
Like, it was impulse. It was having no direction. Just imagine, I was 14, no direction. Like, that's sad. Yeah. That's what makes me want to do what we're doing now. Yeah. Because this goes all around the boat. I'm hoping to connect with just beginning to be a teenager. Yeah. Because that alone,
because like you said, like, your journey usually starts in middle school. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, your most traumatic and like greatest experiences usually start like middle school to high school. So I feel that. You understand what type of people you want around you. Yeah. The type of people you want around you. Or the type of people that want to be around you. Yeah. Really be aware about who you let around you in your life. And let in your life, if that makes sense. Yes. Because it influences everything that happens, I feel like.
Yeah. And I remember Risc saying that there was a lot of your friends that you thought were friends. Yeah. Went back to your school and really chatted about what they really felt. What they really felt. Yeah. So yeah. Dropped out of school, lost a lot of my friends because I was so involved in my relationship. They were just like, this is so unhealthy, Hillary. Right. And it's like my sisters would tell me, my parents would tell me, like, this is unhealthy. They saw it. They warned me. They told me. And me being the person that I am, I'm a very prideful person. No, I'm like, don't talk to me about that. Like, you don't know about my life.
Don't tell me what to do. No, that's really my favorite line.
Yeah, don't tell me what to do. No, I wasn't even don't tell me what to do, but it's just like, y'all don't know what you're talking about. So don't speak on it. Ew. I thought
I be forgetting you're the same sign as me. And I'm like, damn, you sound just like me, bitch.
So my thing is, I felt like me and him had a relationship and a connection that nobody would understand. Yeah. So they could talk about it all they want, but until they are actually in our relationship and really see and feel and hear the conversations and, the mood between us, then y'all would not be talking what you're talking. But it wasn't all, Yeah, no. I had some damaged issues before I even got in a relationship with him. And I felt like I used a lot, but we're young, I feel like I blamed a lot of our relationship on him,
Yeah. No, I like literally I'm resonating with everything you're saying right now. And I'm trying to
hold it together.
Yeah, no, really.
So obviously I tried my hardest in the relationship. 2012, when I was supposed to graduate, I got pregnant. Had my twins when I was 20. So 2013, I had my twins, and it was the best thing that's ever happened to me. Mm-hmm. They definitely gave me a whole different perspective on life. They gave me everything I needed to be this version of myself. Like the first steps. I'm not going to say that. They gave me everything, but definitely gave me that drive, that's something to live for, like that fulfilling part of me that I needed, that was looking for in somebody else, right? So let's just say, had my relationship, wasn't very healthy.
Dang, I have to cough too.
Just do it.
I was holding it in.
That was fun. If you get a tickle in your throat, drink your water. So I have the twins, and that whole time when I was pregnant, I was working damn near every day. I was a workaholic, just making sure, I had everything that I need. I didn't have to ask nobody for it. It was a real, I feel like I was the same, very unconscious, because I just didn't want to deal with not being in that relationship. Like, right. It was like I was covering it up with work. Mm-hmm. Like I was overworking myself just to kind of get through the feelings that I was feeling. And so had the twins and was in the NICU for a month.
Damn.
And, you know, he was there at the hospital, and then we ended up trying to make amends, you know, for the girls, trying to do what was right. For me, that was what I'm always trying to fix relationships. I'm always trying to be a better person in relationships. So we decided to get back together for the kids and try again. And we did. And it was just not for me. It was not the type of relationship that I wanted. I was a very independent person at that time because I made it without him. I know life without him.
Right.
So when you live a life without somebody that you were so connected with for years,
yeah, damn.
then you start to reevaluate your surroundings. I think that's where I was woke.
I was gonna say that's where you woke up.
Yeah, that's where I woke up. And so again, we were living with each other. It wasn't what I wanted. I knew there was way more out there for me, and I literally packed overnight.
I love that for you.
I know that sounds really bad, but one of my best friends, I told her, I was like, I can't do it anymore. And she goes, okay. All right, let's do
this thing.
And I think that's why we have this just solid relationship. It was never a disrespectful relationship. This friend, I like to call her my soulmate too. You know, friends can be soulmates.
I was finna say, she could be your soulmate.
Yeah. Definitely serves me in the way that I needed to be served.
Yes.
I was picking a lot of friends that didn't serve me in the way I needed to be served. Maybe that's why I was looking for it in relationships.
Yes.
You know?
That is why. Because you couldn't find not even one. You know what I mean?
That one solid friendship that was going to take me to where I need. I know it's not their responsibility, but...
No. But like God... I try
do it. Say it.
I tried to say it in the last podcast, but I felt like it didn't make sense. That he gives everybody that he sends into your life a responsibility, pretty much. Ooh. And you have to. I feel like each of those people don't even realize it, but they have to be there.
What do you mean be there? So like conscious?
No.
Awoke?
Kind of just, I don't know. I guess I don't
know. Not slow. You said be there, so they really have to be there.
They gotta be there. Do you get what I mean? Like, I don't know how to explain it. They're going to just ignore me.
No, I like this out. So what she's saying is that everybody that comes in your life has a responsibility. They have duties, just like as you as a friend have duties, correct?
Unconsciously though. Like they don't even realize that they're going to do it for you. And half the time you don't even realize it till after it's happened and you reflect on it and you're like, damn, that person has been in my life to help me.
Wow.
Do you get what I mean?
No, 100%. Because I'm just thinking of this friendship.
Yeah. And it's like, dang.
It just in any real close friendship that I have. We've been through it.
Together.
Yeah. And even though everything, even in the longest relationships or friendships that I've had, because they're still relationships.
Yeah.
The longest friendships that I've had, we've been through it all. We've been through the saddest to the...
Right, all your seasons. Like
all my seasons, exactly. And we weren't always in the best places. And I think the connection that I want is that, listen, I'm going to tell you, because this is how I am. I'm going to tell you even
how it is.
It is. I'm a Scorpio, baby.
Yeah.
We're Scorpios, baby. Like, it's going to be a crazy season.
Yeah.
I think every season's going to be pretty crazy.
No, always.
But every episode is going to be the rawest. Let's get to the point. Let's open your mind. Let's make sure that you're understanding the key elements.
Yes. Ooh.
Of making it in the world. Stay woke. Stay connected.
Connected. For real. No, seriously.
So on to friendships. I know I'm still in my story, but yes, I totally agree because, it's important to have those friendships. And a lot of people are like, I don't need friends. Yeah, you do. That's why you're going crazy in your mind because you have nobody to connect with when you have a problem. You have nobody to talk to it about.
Yeah.
You're talking to yourself. You're playing with your thoughts. You don't know what thoughts are right or wrong. Oh, see, let's not get on the mind, y'all. This is our favorite thing. And I think that's why we picked the closed mind.
No, facts.
Okay. So my friend helped me move in the middle of the night, and I just left. I left to my mom's, and my mom helped me for a year and some time. But living with your parents is not the funnest thing. Let me just say,
it's not the move.
It's like, not right
at all.
I mean, I love my parents, but Lord, they can go on a what do you call it? Power strike or
power trip?
Power trip. Like
it's like you're
a kid again.
Yeah, no, literally.
But I'm a grown ass woman. I've been getting it for myself for this couple of months. No, really though. Going into your own apartment, doing your job, taking your kids' baths, taking yourselves baths, cooking your food, going grocery shop, doing all this adult stuff, and then going into your mom's house, acting like you're still a child. I'm okay on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely appreciate that chapter in my life, because it really taught me how to just know what I want, not settle for what I don't. So, and now here, let's go to this quote. To discard was to temporarily lose my balance, but not to discard would have meant to lose myself.
Yes. So in another
way to think about it.
Yeah. You had to separate yourself from that to find yourself. Mm-hmm. And not even find yourself.
But just not to lose myself any more than I already had.
Exactly. That is so true. Sometimes you have to and it's so hard because everything in your body probably tells you no. Or maybe this wasn't the right step, Hillary. Maybe you're just over exaggerating, yes.
Hillary. No, I wasn't over exaggerating, and that's why I'm in the place that I am in today.
Because you finally walked away.
And I fought that inner voice and those
for a long
thoughts.
time.
Yeah, and those the crazy thing about mind is thoughts are not always your best friend. They're going to try and hold you back as much as the other person.
Even your feelings. That was something that I just read yesterday. It was that your feelings and your thoughts are not always valid. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We try to validate how we feel so often that we forget that sometimes we're just too emotional, and it's not even really.
That's why they say sit with your thoughts.
Yes. No, really sit with your thoughts, for real.
Yeah, sit with your thoughts and not take action on them until you sit with them and think about what you're about to say.
And I'm the
Scorpios,
opposite.
baby, they ain't doing that.
I said I'm very impulsive.
Yeah.
I am very
a goal you need to work on.
Before somebody talks me out of this, I better fucking do this.
Yeah. There comes a time where you no longer care if there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You just are sick of the tunnel. Okay? I was just sick of the ongoing routine. Yes. I was ready to get out of it. Like you said, impulsive. I'm spontaneous. Why can't I get out this house?
Yeah.
Why can't I do stuff that I love? I wasn't the sit-at-home wife that doesn't have a job because my man's going to take care of me. I'm that type of person that wants to win my own bread. Okay. I'm the type of woman.
Period, bitch.
That's got goals, that wants to see life more than we think it is today. And I think that's one of my goals for my daughters, is to find that self. I'm going to teach them that. Yes. Not for them to learn that going into a relationship, getting out of a toxic relationship just to find themselves. Yes. That's the one focus I'm going to have on my kids. I'm sorry, it's not school. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're going to have to get good grades, but I will take my kids out of school for a week so we can go on vacation.
I love that. No, and that's the thing is we are programmed to think that, oh, they got like, I don't know.
No, this is how it's supposed to be.
Yes.
There's no way out of it.
Yes.
We're not supposed to do that. Oh, yeah.
But we also, once we're out of school, know nothing about real life at all. Like we had to, like, even my parents, like, I feel like I was not taught anything that I needed once I got on my own. Like everything, I just was like, damn, I'm scared. Like this is like mental health was not like, I feel like now a lot more, they're more talking about it more because it's because a lot of children, middle schoolers are taking their lives because they just are so confused and lost and don't know how to talk to people about it because it's something that wasn't talked about.
Yes. I reunited.
Ooh.
Yeah, I reunited myself to a Hillary that knew what she wanted but didn't want to pursue it.
Ooh.
Did that hit?
I fucked with that terminology.
No, yes. Yeah. You know, again, your mind will talk you out of so many things. Your mind will talk you out of it and say, oh, no, you really want this.
Or you can't do this. Or
you're not ready for this.
Or you're not good enough for this.
Oh, my God.
Ooh. Y'all don't want to hear. That's our next episode.
Thank you. Sneak peek. No, so I like to call this a start of a new me. You know? I know the episode is called The Big Shift, but we're not there yet. So we're just going to start with the new me. I reunited myself with the outgoing, outspoken, just the energy that I was when I was in middle school. I feel like I'm in middle school. I feel like, I don't want to go to school tomorrow.
Right.
You know? I reunited with not just myself, but somebody I used to date, because me and my partner beforehand, were kind of like on and off. So, I mean, I can't say that I was with one person forever.
Right.
Especially through high school. I was on and off with other people too. So there was a situation, where I wasn't faithful and it just didn't work out. And there was a lot of trust issues. And out of nowhere, we ended up reuniting. And it was like the perfect time in my life. I had my kids. I was working. I had my hustle on. And I think he noticed that. He was like, okay, girl, you ready for me now?
Right. No, and that's so real. Okay, that's like a whole other subject, but that is so real.
Yeah.
There's going to be so many relationships in your life that you're not ready for. Ugh.
Yep. So definitely wasn't ready for him. But that damage hit me in the face, if that makes sense. The damage that I caused him years before coming back into it. Does that make sense? Okay. So I caused some damage and it definitely came back to me in my relationship. So we went through a lot of hard times. We went through, first of all, having kids. We had Ollie, I think, a year into our relationship. And, being a parent can get difficult. It can get real hard. So we just went through all the adult hard times together, but we grew with each other. So I guess that was my point. Definitely somebody that's patient with me, that's hard on me. So again, the future was looking bright. We went through a lot of things, but it definitely built me into the woman I needed to be.
Yes.
Okay. Because, I wanted to be this woman. I could picture myself being this badass woman. You know what I'm saying? But I needed, and I know, of course, we're not supposed to make each other, like, I'm not supposed to
put it on him.
Yeah, put that on him. But people come into your lives.
Facts.
To bring you to another level.
And to bring out that better version
of version. And he pushed me to stop saying shit. you know,
and start doing
to
it.
Start doing it, taking action. You know, he always said that.
He's a real man.
He said,
that's
Hillary,
what that
you know,
is.
you always talk about it, but talk about it
and be
about it. Exactly.
Damn.
And
he called you out on your bullshit.
He did. And you know what? That's what I needed. That's exactly what I needed.
Yep. Okay.
Because, you know, again, I'm a Scorpio, so I'm gonna be like, man, I've been doing it. But really, I wasn't. I was doing the...
Listen, J Money came with the heat.
Go ahead, J1. No, but so yeah, so it all started when I got that motivation to start filming again, because I used to film in high school, and for my birthday, or was it Christmas? I think it was a combination of both. He ended up getting me my first camera.
Aww.
And man, it was just like I can start now. So 22, 23 was definitely where, you know, the whole transaction, the whole transition of the boss babe went on. So I want to talk about that growth spurt at 27. You know, the last 2 years have been exciting for me. They've been everything I've been looking for. I know I have so many more years, but man, this is definitely my prime time. Like, I've been going in. I've been making those executive decisions. I've been, you know, just putting it on paper, you know, writing it down. What do I want to do? What do I really want to do? You know, my biggest thing that I want to do is travel, and I want to explore life, and I want to explore other people's perception of life. And
I love that.
Yeah. And yeah, so that's my biggest goal, is to traveling the world and documenting it. And then also meeting new people and documenting their lives and the way their lives work, because everybody's life is different. And I think, again, that's why we're doing this, to kind of get to those closed-minded people. Or again, we don't care where you are and the level of where your mind's at right now. All right.
Because we're still figuring it out too.
And once we get into Risc's story, you'll kind of understand what we mean about different, I don't want to say levels again, but different.
But yeah.
Would you say?
Kind of.
Okay.
Like we're at different parts of our lives, and we all experience different things. So it's like, a lot of the shit I'm finna dish out, you didn't ever have to experience, but you get what I'm saying?
When it comes to like the consciousness where I was woke, and then that grind set, and then now it's like that growth mindset type thing, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, it makes sense.
So again, I feel like the biggest thing for me in the last 2 years is just trying to find out who I really am, you know, because a lot of things have happened in the last 2 to 3 years where it could damage somebody to the point where, oh, I don't want to do this shit no more.
Right.
Like you said, it was just like, there are people that don't know how to hold their emotions, how to talk with their emotions, how to act and cope on their emotions, where they end up just feeling like there's no purpose. Well, I could have done the same, but you know, I know for me, it's how can I reverse it into a positive?
Yes.
So, I made a lot of mistakes, but there is nothing wrong with making mistakes. But one should always make new ones. Repeating mistakes is a hallmark of dim consciousness. Mm-hmm. So again, we will talk more about consciousness, unconsciousness, subconsciousness.
No, seriously.
Risc got us on that one. But yes, we will be talking more about those in the next couple of episodes, in probably every season, honestly.
I was going to say, because it correlates with
everything. Yeah. A person who makes few mistakes makes little progress.
Yes, because
we're scared to fail.
Yes, and failure is a great thing. Mm-hmm. And we don't look at it that way because that's how we were programmed.
Yep. But we failing today.
We're
not really failing, but we're making mistakes today. We really did start off like crazy.
Today's been a very off morning, but we're getting into it.
We're getting into our zone. We still got a whole nother
episode to record.
You're right. But again, I've learned that finding yourself is essential to fulfilling life, not finding it in somebody else. So yeah, that's where I'm at. We must become reacquainted with ourselves and our true selves.
Yeah.
So people often say that this or that person has not yet found themselves, but the self is not something one finds. It's something one creates. Ooh. So that's a mic drop right there. A little bit about me, actually a lot about me that some of y'all
did not know.
The process is the most beautiful thing in your life because I'm going to be able to talk to my children about my life, my struggles, my experiences, and hope that they don't have to experience those themselves.
Yes.
And hope that they find somebody that encourages them, that puts pressure on them, that makes them get out of their comfort zone and stop talking and start doing.
You know what's so crazy is that's the most beautiful part about being able to reflect on your life and pick out the parts that you need to install into your child. Like, you know what I mean? Like as
undo generational curses.
Yes.
And trauma, like you said. Yeah.
Yes. With that being said, I guess
are you ready for this?
I guess we'll hop right into my story. So yeah, mine is very, I feel like it's very dark. Very dark story.
Get into it. Yeah, get your blankets.
Yeah, man, it's fucking freezing in here, just so y'all know. Like, my toes are finna fall off.
We gotta get a heating system in here.
Something. Okay, so I am 25.
Really?
I'm halfway through my life.
Period.
You know, I'm about to be 50. I am the oldest of 4. And I currently have 2 children of my own. I feel like I've always been the mom. Because I'm the oldest, I definitely had to raise my siblings because my parents were both very, very hard workers. Yeah, so literally, my mom used to work day and night, and my dad he's pretty much worked for this company since I was born. A tree company, so they travel a lot, and he was also in prison for 3 years of my life, I believe. So I didn't really have a relationship with my dad at all, and I always kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, because I always hear people talk about, oh, like my dad was never around, I had daddy issues, and I feel like I kind of went through that, but at the same time my dad was around almost all of my life. He just wasn't there for like the 3 years.
Right.
But we had no relationship, like none, 0. He was very close with my siblings, so I envied that because I just was like, oh, he holds them and he like loves on them, and I just never felt that from him. But I had my grandparents, which were my best friends. They were, I feel like, personally, my mom and my dad would hate to hear this, but I feel like they were more like parents to me than they were. My grandma taught me everything I need to know about life, you know what I mean?
I feel like that's sometimes how it goes.
Yeah, like it really was. It was like that. So my mom has always kind of had a drinking problem, and I feel like it's how she copes with her life and her traumas. Like, she won't admit it, but I know that she has really bad depression, and that's just how she copes with it. So she was very, very abusive towards me, and my middle sister, but mostly me. And it really, the time she would be abused, like she was only abusing whenever, okay, I lied. Wait, I can't even say that.
sugar shit. Okay.
No, really. I was
here.
going to lie to you guys because I was going to say it's because I wouldn't take my medicines. I was on a lot of medicine when I was younger. I started my medications when I was 4 years old because that's when I found out I had really chronic asthma and really bad allergies, and I have like heart problems. But yeah, so I've been on medicine all my life, and I used to be like, no, I'm not taking this. It used to make me physically sick. Wow. I couldn't even function on them, and my mom didn't understand that, I don't think, because and so I would literally just every day I would like pick them out and throw them in the toilet, or I would like try to at least. And she would go and she would count my medicine. Wow. And I would have days where I would forget to take them out. And she would be like, she would literally text me while I was at school and be like, did you take your medicine today? I'm like, yeah. And then I was like, oh,
trap.
Yeah. Like I would be like, damn, I forgot to take it out. And I would literally tell myself, okay, as soon as I get home, I'm going to take it out. And I would take it out, and my mom would come into the room and be like, I thought you said you took your medicine today. And I would be like, I did. Like, you can count them. And she was like, I counted them this morning when you were at school. And yeah, so that would result in an ass whooping. And it wasn't like ass whoopings. They were like, she would literally beat the fuck out of me. So, yeah, so I was fucked up in the head really bad. I had a really, really, really bad depression, at a very, very, very young age. Like even a little bit before middle school. Wow. Honestly. I hated my home life. We traveled a lot. That was something that I didn't get to say the last time. We jumped from state to state, like while I was young. Mm-hmm. So I was born in Tennessee, and I don't even recall anything from then because we moved to Alabama when I was like, what was I, like 6 maybe? And it was a very racist area. Like wow. We were pretty much like the only Mexicans, and because we were in a small town, but we were pretty much the only Mexicans there. And I didn't know I was Mexican. Right. Like, wow, no. That's kind of sad. I didn't know I was Mexican. Like,
you was just really, really brown.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know. Like, I just thought I was like dirty or something. Like, I couldn't really figure it out. I went to school with nothing but white kids, and they used to dog me. They would be like, why are you so dark? Wow. And like, no, like literally I'm in kindergarten or like, oh my gosh. Yeah. And people would be like, you are so dirty. Like, I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry. Right. But yeah, so I lived there. We lived in Baton Rouge. We lived in Texas. We lived everywhere. So it wasn't a happy time for you. It was more of like I would build at least one strong connection in every state and then be ripped from it. Oh, wow. So like when I was writing all this down, I was like, wow, I feel like that's a huge factor in my attachment problems. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like at any moment somebody can be snatched from me, and that scares me. Wow. So I cling on to things. You know what I mean? So like, don't leave me. Yes. So, okay. So going into middle school, I moved to Fort Wayne, and here too, I was bullied because keep in mind, I was not the cutest.
So how old were you when you came to Fort Wayne?
I don't even.
You said middle school?
It was late middle, like our early middle school. Okay. So we've been here for a little while. Okay. But yeah, so I had big ass fucking caterpillar eyebrows. I have a very big nose. You know, people would dog me. So I was just super insecure. I kind of always have been, but that's really what it stemmed from, just from being bullied. Like coming to these places where it's more so like a majority white people, but coming here and there's way more diversity, but there's still so many racist people. Like, right. I just was so yeah. So middle school, first boyfriend was in 7th grade, and ever since then I don't think I've ever been single. Okay. So I don't really count all these boyfriends, keep in mind.
Right.
Because I didn't have one. The most I ever did with any of them was kiss, like that. Like, not even like, like, and two.
You kissed in 7th grade.
I kissed in 7th grade at the roller dome. My first kiss was at the roller dome.
How romantic.
It wasn't. It wasn't romantic at all. So don't, yeah. So he,
She deserved better than that, whoever it was.
I don't even remember.
Okay, there, Riz, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it was, I just was going through like men. Like, I just was, as soon as anybody mentioned sex, because keep in mind, all of my friends in middle school had sex. Yeah. I was like, how? Like, I'm so scared of that. Like, you don't want to wait till marriage.
Same, girl.
And
I was a Catholic growing up, so I definitely get that.
Girl, I was so scared of my friends. I was so scared of them. I was introduced to drugs in middle school. Didn't do them.
Really?
Yes.
That's pretty young.
Yes. I was introduced to drugs. I'm not talking about just marijuana. I'm talking about drugs. And I was like,
She have like LSD and shit?
no, not even LSD, like coke. Oh, shit.
Like, what middle school you go to?
The white bitches I hung around.
Put it on blast. Y'all in the middle school bathroom, like, girl.
They'd be like, you trying to take a line? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Are you serious?
Dude, middle school. Yeah, it was disgusting. It was the people I was hanging around. But look, I never fed into that shit.
Ass kids.
Yes. No, seriously. And then when you would go to their houses and you would just
why.
understand, like, damn, they were exposed to this at such a young age. But yeah, so I don't know what I was looking for in middle school with the men. I don't know, but I did. I went through a lot. I don't even know how many boyfriends I had, but like I said, as soon as they mentioned sex, I was like, no, get away from me. And
I am not the one, hussy.
I was so bougie.
Ain't nothing wrong with being bougie, baby.
I was so bougie. And then,
listen, you can't have this cookie, all right?
You can't. This is a prized possession.
This is, what did they call it?
Belt.
It's not my treasure, but it's my temple.
Oh, boom.
Don't touch my temple.
Nope. But yeah, nope.
Not today.
So this is kind of when the trauma started, is middle school, because on my parents' anniversary, they left us with one of my family members, and me and my middle sister and one of my best friends at the time were sexually abused by my cousin, my second cousin or whatever. And ooh, man, when I say I freaked out, because I woke up to him pretty much over me. And I looked at him and I was like, what the fuck? And he ran out the room. And I was like, I literally was stuck. I was shaking. I was like, and I'm shaking even talking about it. I don't know if you can tell, but I was freaking out, and I heard my friend crying, like whimpering. And I turned over and I was like, are you okay? And she was like, no. And oh my God. I was like, how are we going to tell her mom? I was like, she's never going to want to talk to me again because this happened in my house. And we're sitting up and we're all talking about it, like under the blankets. And then we hear the door crack, and he like peeks his head in, and his eyes were like, literally, it was so scary. It like stays in my head. He had all black eyes, no white. There was no white part of his eye. I was like, that is a demon. Oh my freaking God, girl. I'm freaking out just talking about it. But yeah. So yeah, that was kind of like scary. And
wow.
Yeah, really scary.
That whole black eyes part kind of,
yeah.
I'm just envisioning it.
No, girl, like I literally see it every time I talk about this. It just freaks me out. It literally, and at the time, no one believed us. Because, okay, whenever I'm uncomfortable or scared to talk about something, I laugh. Like it's like a way to like not freak out. Because when I get to freaking out, it's like you can't kind of control me. So I was like laughing.
Right.
but it was like a nervous, like, I'm freaking out, you know? And my grandpa and my dad did not believe me.
Wow. Your grandpa?
My grandpa. My grandpa's room was right next to ours. So I like was banging on his door. Like I was so scared to even get out of the bed because I was scared he was going to be like coming up the stairs and being like, no, don't do that. So I was like banging on his door trying to wake, because keep in mind, it's like 5 a.m. It's like the next day. You know what I mean? And my parents are in the next room, but I didn't know. And I'm banging on his door and he opens the door and I was like, he touched us, like I was freaking out, and he's like, stop lying. He literally said that, stop lying. And I was like, at this point, I'm like, nobody believes me. But the only person who really, really believed me was my uncle. And he literally was like, I'm about to kill him. He sat up, like, because he left. He escaped. I don't know how, like.
Who escaped?
The guy.
Your cousin?
Yes, my cousin. Because I think when he heard me banging on my grandpa's door, he got scared because he knew we were going to snitch.
Have you seen him?
No.
Since? What?
No. And then we also found out he did it to his own daughter, and I don't know if he's in prison or not. Yeah, trauma. But yeah, so nobody believed me. So I'm one of those people who, if you ever tell me your story and it's like, there's no reason to lie about stuff like that. You know what I mean? Especially when you can see, like, just talking about it, I was shaking. And I can always recognize when somebody's like really
feeling it.
Yeah, like it because that's how I get.
Like the look in their eyes, you know it's real.
Yeah, like you can actually like feel their pain just from them talking about it. So I've come to move past that part of my life, but that was something that happened. I think I was in 7th grade. And that's when I got my first boyfriend. And you know what? Now that I'm saying it, that's probably why I was so scared. Literally, people would be like, sex. And I would be like, no. Uh-huh. Like, no.
Wow.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
now that I'm thinking about it.
Which is great. Let me just say that while we're telling our stories, and for people to know that we are reflecting just by talking about it and writing about it, we're gonna learn so much, ourselves about our stories.
Yeah. Okay. So, like I said, I didn't really count those boyfriends in the past. I only had 2 serious boyfriends. One of them was just, we were young, but he was just like, puppy love. Like I was like in love with him type stuff, and got my feelings hurt and got cheated on. And he won't admit to it, but he did it.
Don't lie,
but it's okay. And then I met,
because we've grown from that.
No, seriously. But and it's funny because we still are able to talk to each other.
Oh, that's cool.
Connect. Like yeah, it's like not like we hate each other. Mm-hmm. So then
is that a bird?
Yeah. Girl, it's approximately
they waking us
8:50.
up.
Yeah. So then I get to high school and I don't know really who I am. Like I have different, like you said, I kind of had different friend groups. I had my
bad one.
Yeah, my
and
bad
then
one.
Good one.
Yeah, really.
And then, hey, I want to be friends with you, but you don't really fit
either category.
So, I mean, we could be cool.
Yeah. No, seriously, that's how I was.
That's a lot of,
So,
again, you pick and choose who is in your life and who's makes a bigger part of that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does.
Who plays a bigger part in your life.
So I was super involved also. I did choir.
Okay, girl.
From, I'm not kidding, like from middle school till the end of high school.
Wow.
Yeah, I did it for a very, very, very long time. I went to ISMA, which is like a state.
Let me just hear something real quick. Stop, seriously, Risc, come on.
You thought.
Just a note.
No.
Yeah, I'm a singer too.
Really?
Yeah.
Stop it.
No, really.
Oh my God.
I've actually recorded at Sweetwater.
So,
Yeah.
oh my God.
And G. I'm sorry for taking away from you. Go ahead.
No, you're straight.
That's
You're
another
straight.
episode, girl.
That is. We gotta have. I'm telling. We have to have at least one karaoke episode or a season of it.
Shit. Okay.
Okay.
See, wow, that was beautiful.
So I did choir for a long time. I have done photography since high school.
Wow.
So, but that's not even true because even as a kid, I used to have this camcorder and I used to just vlog my life. Like,
That's so awesome.
But I don't have any of that.
I used to have
anymore.
a flip. You know what those are?
Wait, no.
They're little camcorders like this. They had a red button in the middle.
Oh,
Yeah. I used to do the same thing.
girl, I had like just a little
Baby camcorder.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about.
and I used to just record everything. And then that's when I started to get into photography. I was young. I was actually, now that I think about it, I've always been into photography. That's so funny.
You've always had the eye for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My uncle used to have me take his pictures and like, I used to edit so ugly, but he loved it. And he would use it on his like, his little albums because he was a rapper. And, yeah, that's so funny to think back to. Oh my God. So yeah.
Doesn't it make you so happy?
Yeah. My uncle passed away.
You said he played a really big part of
He
your life.
did.
He like saw the potential in you.
He did.
And really made sure to tell you about it.
It's so crazy because he was like an older brother. And he lived with us pretty much all of my life.
So do you have any brothers or it's just girls?
I have one brother.
Okay.
But he's the youngest.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, you know, like I never had
guess you're
somebody.
cool.
Yeah. I guess you're cool.
No, because you weren't raised with them like you were your sisters. So you don't have that connection.
Exactly.
Like being raised. Were you raised into the same household together?
Who?
You and your brother.
Yeah.
Like how old is he?
He's 15 now.
Okay.
So like we're building our connection now.
Yeah.
It's like it was very hard. He was like our baby.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he couldn't really do nothing for me.
Right.
But like that's what I'm saying. Like my uncle was like my older sibling.
That's awesome.
We used to live on Creighton and
Whoa.
you know, down the street from Zesto's. But he used to stay on the porch and everybody knew him. Everyone. I still have friends to this day that used to like be like, oh my God, like I remember we used to chill with your uncle. And I'm like, that's so fucking weird. Like, oh, that's so weird. Anyway, so he wouldn't let me go on the porch, like ever. Like I couldn't just sit on my porch and wait for my friends.
Why?
Because he was so overprotective of me. Like if I wore shorts, it was like school. He was like, go change those. Yeah, he was.
He probably knew you were gorgeous.
He did. He used to say it all the time. He used to be like, y'all are too pretty. Like y'all have to go. Y'all have to go inside.
But that's good.
Yeah.
Because he knew that y'all needed to protect yourself at all times.
And also, now that I'm saying it out loud, it's from.
Oh.
That makes so much sense.
Yo, that makes me want to cry.
Yeah.
He was definitely a guardian angel.
Yes,
like,
and he still, that's a whole nother story. He still is to this day, I promise. So, okay, anyway, so, so I met my husband and, I literally knew he was going to be my husband. I remember.
Oh, stop. Did you meet each other in high school?
We met each other in high school. I was like a sophomore.
Sophomore.
Yeah, because my freshman year, me and the other guy ended up breaking up because of all that. And it was really, really sad. It took me a grip to get over him.
Okay.
And I don't think even getting with my husband, I don't think I was fully over him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I was about to say his name. My husband was literally just perfect. You know what I mean? Like he was a complete opposite of me, but he was perfect to me. Like I remember I seen him. I don't remember where I seen him at.
On the block?
I found him on Facebook. and I added him.
Oh, that's cute.
And then he messaged me I think it was like a couple weeks after I added him. And he said something like, hey, beautiful, like, just being flirty. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I love that.
And then I met him in real life at a quince.
That's where the spots were. That's the romantic times when you could take a girl out on a dance floor and just win her heart.
For real. You can think about it. You're blushing.
Riz is blushing right now, y'all.
Oh my God.
She crazy.
Reminiscing. Yeah, he was just completely opposite of me. He's super quiet. But he had like such like I feel flavor, but like a dark sense of humor. Like he had like, he wasn't what I would normally think was funny.
Yeah, no,
do you get
I know
what I'm saying?
exactly what you're talking about. I be thinking I have the best joke, and I was like, "You're lame."
No, literally.
No,
like,
yeah.
So
like a calm sense of humor, like
calm. That's what I meant. Like not like a dark, but like he was just so opposite. I'm so loud and I'm so outgoing, and he's just like,
you are. Yeah.
Like, and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, he's not a big, like, needs attention type person.
So we weighed each other out perfectly. Like, he was the calm to the storm.
Oh.
I was the storm, he was the calm.
So he kind of gave you that calmness in your life.
Yeah, he was my
balance. Took you away from all the hectic.
Yes, no, and he really was. So he got to see all of my darkest times, and we just learned a lot from each other. I taught him how to love, and I take pride in that because I remember when I met him, it was just like he didn't know how. He wasn't used to like hearing and feeling that affection because how he was raised was very different from me.
Right.
My family's very, oh, I love you, and hugging, and his family just kind of.
Do they say it?
Now they do, I feel like, more so.
But
before, I didn't ever really hear them say, like, I love you. Like, when he would get off the phone.
They expected you to know.
Yes, no, and that's how it was.
Or they showed through giving.
Yeah, like,
okay.
how they did things. So, like, taking care of each other type shit. Yeah. What was I about to say? You said something, and it made me think.
I'm so sorry.
No. You...
That you were very compassionate. You didn't see that they loved you. I mean, you didn't have them. You know.
He just was. I don't know.
He wasn't the person that you are. Like you said, lovey-dovey.
Yeah, he wasn't lovey-dovey at all. We actually talked for like 6 months before we even kissed.
Wow.
Like before we even I was sneaking out my house to the backyard, but we would literally that was. Majority of the time that's all we were doing. We were in the backyard, but like I just did things with him that I had never done before. He was my first for a lot of shit, like and I will never forget I got caught sneaking out with him. Keep in mind, we're just in the backyard, right? We weren't doing nothing. We were sitting on the back of his car and we were talking. And his cousin was in the car. Like, we're doing all this while his cousin's just in the car. And I hear my uncle's voice. I hear him say, "Ree." And I was like, oh, fuck. Because my uncle's crazy.
I'm just waiting to hear this.
Oh my God. So I'm like trying to escape. I don't remember what I said. I was trying to like get him to know, like, it's time for me to go inside. Yeah. Well, then my uncle just comes up and my dad comes up.
Oh, shit.
And they're like, you didn't hear your phone? You didn't hear us calling you? And I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm just sitting in the back. It's not like I really left or anything, but my dad was like, you need to go inside. And I was so scared because I see my uncle take off his hat and throw it on the floor and was like, you need to fucking leave. And
he said that?
Yes. And he looks at him. He was just staring at him. No expression, no nothing. This was so hot to me because no one's ever stood up to my uncle. But he literally stood there and looked at him and was like, pick up my hat and I'll leave. And I said,
wait, he threw off.
He threw his hat on the floor.
Your husband's?
Yes.
What?
And my husband looked at him
and
his
uncle took his hat off. Like,
No, he took his hat off and threw it on the floor and said, you need to leave. And then he was like, pick up my hat and I'll leave. And I said, oh yeah, that's a man right there. Why are we slutty? That's a man right there. I'm about to bite you. I was so scared. I literally will never forget. I said, he is not going to talk to me ever again. That was such a scare. Like, I remember texting him when he left. I was like, I am so sorry. He's like, should I bring my uncles? Like, should I tell my uncles to go over there? I said, no. It would be a war.
Real shit. Just over some Risc.
Yeah, no, literally. And we wasn't even doing shit. Like, it would have been one thing if it would have been worth it and we was doing some shit. You know what I mean? But it wasn't. It wasn't
some Romeo and Juliet.
No, really.
No, well, for real.
My mama pulled my ass by my hair, girl. Dragged me by my hair up the stairs and was going off saying, you were having a threesome. And I was like, what? You're being weird. Because keep in mind, my sister and my cousin snuck out the same day. And they got caught too.
Okay.
And they were the reason.
Now she was just projecting her anger on you.
They were the reason we got caught because my cousin took my dad's phone. And my dad woke up in the middle of the night. I was like, where's my phone? And my cousin was like, oh,
so this was the middle of the night? I'm thinking this was like daylight. Of course,
oh
Risc.
no, baby. That's it was in the middle of the night. My mom and my dad was pissed. But my mom
I'd whip your ass too.
No, bro. My mom literally was like, I'm talking about closed hand, rocked my shit. My jaw flew the other way.
Risc, oh my God.
It was so bad. My dad seen it though, because he had like reached the top of the stairs whenever it happened, and he seen her. He like, I'm talking about, this man is a big, like,
tackled her ass.
He swooped her ass up and said, don't you ever put your hands on her like that again. That was like the first time I felt like my dad really was like,
really loved you, cared about you.
That was like the first time. Because my dad used to, like, my mom used to be like, you need to whoop their ass. And he used to like, be like, cry. And he would like smack something and sound.
He probably had like got abused as a kid. I don't know if that was...
No, probably.
No, yeah.
I've never asked.
I know my dad used to whoop the shit out of me, and then I found out that his dad used to beat the shit out of him.
He refused to put his hands on us ever. So...
it could go both ways.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
You could take that trauma and
either grow from it or stick with it. No,
that generational curse.
Yes, no, for real. So he was like a lot of my first, and
that's beautiful.
Yeah. I had a few miscarriages in high school. I guess it was only one because we had lost our virginity my senior year.
Okay, so I
met him
your sophomore year.
Yeah. And we didn't start dating.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. We stayed together the whole time.
Wow.
I was like in love with him, infatuated with him. With each other. It was so weird. We grew a lot together.
No, that's not weird. That's hot.
No, really, he got to be there for like through a lot of shit. So our first couple times of having sex, I'm pretty sure we got pregnant and I had a miscarriage, and I was sad, but I wasn't that sad. But the second miscarriage, I was pretty sad because I'm pretty sure we told his parents. So.
Oh, wow. So they knew all about it.
Yeah. And then I had one more, and then I got pregnant with Milani.
So you had 3 before having Milani?
Yes. I was super, and this was like where I was
mind
depressed.
you, she's had a lot of health issues.
Yes. So the medication I was on in high school, I was on a steroid for my asthma, and they literally told me prior to it all like going down, they were like, you're probably not going to be able to have kids. And at this time, I'm like, good. Like I really just wanted to adopt. Growing up, I was like, I want to adopt kids. But I was like, yeah, no, like that's not a problem, whatever. And they were like, okay, well, okay. They gave me the warning, and then I fell in love with him, and I was like, I want babies with you. And so we had a lot of trouble doing that. Keep in mind, none of those were even intentional.
Right.
But it was sad. I was sad. I got really depressed. And most of the time, nobody even knew I was depressed. I'm very good at acting okay.
Hiding things.
Yeah, hiding things, man.
Hiding your emotions, not things, but.
That too, though.
Oh. Okay.
That too. I was really good. I feel like I don't know. Yeah, so I was depressed and I never like cut myself or like anything, but did I try to take my life so many times. I used to try to take all my pills. Like I would do it. I would take all my pills and then I would be so sick. Oh my God, throwing up. Like I would never forget. I was throwing up hot pink and I forget what pills I took, but I was like, it was hot pink. Like it was so scary. And then I fell asleep and I woke up and I couldn't see like at all. God. Like it was like, so ever since.
Do you think that's damaged your body in any way?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, wow.
Oh, for sure. Because I've done it multiple times. Like it wasn't just one time. And it was always with pills. And I'd just be like, I'm just fucking myself up, you know? But yeah.
So you have Milani?
Yeah, before I found out I was pregnant with Milani, I actually tried to kill myself.
Wow.
I was super, super, super depressed. I just was not happy. And I don't know why. There was really, honestly, truly, I was happy with him, but I don't know why I just was so depressed. I had no... Like, I don't even remember what was even going through my head. Right. Maybe it was, I just didn't feel like I had a purpose. I don't know.
No. Oh, that's 100% probably what it was.
You know, like I just was
100%
like,
probably what it's. No, that was probably what it was.
Yeah.
So were you living with?
Yes, at the time. I moved out at 19 and I went and I stayed with his parents. And at first it was all good. Like I really was like, oh my gosh,
enjoying
I love this. Yeah. But the more it went on, when I got pregnant, I just realized that that was like the worst decision I made because I feel like it kind of put a big like between us, me and his family. Like I feel like I couldn't. They wanted me to be somebody for him.
Okay.
If that makes
sense. They put you to the standard?
I feel like it.
Yeah.
Like and maybe they don't see it that way, but that's how I felt. You know what I mean? Like for example, for my mom. My mom held me to a very, very, very high standard when I was the oldest, but two, like, I don't know, like I had to be who my mom wanted me to be. Yeah. And then I moved out and I had to be who they wanted me to be. So I never really had a chance to be who I wanted to be.
100%.
Yeah, they're super traditional Mexican. So you're supposed to cook, you're supposed to clean, you're supposed to make their plate first. Like, you know what I mean? So I wasn't used to that. My mom would make our plates first, or we would make our own plates, or sometimes she wouldn't even cook type shit. You know what I mean? So it was like I was just coming into this environment that I was not accustomed to. Right. And it kind of just threw me off. So yeah, so I find out I'm pregnant with Milani. And I was so excited. And I felt like he wasn't the same level as me.
Like excited as you?
Yeah. And I was like, dang, like I'm excited. And I just wanted to, I was so
excited
that
excitement.
To share it. Like I was ready to post about it.
Like the dream.
Yes. No.
Like when you get married, you share that same excitement.
I completely skipped over that. We got married.
Okay.
We got married when I was 20.
So you moved out at 19.
Yeah.
Okay. Got married.
At 20.
At 20. You were already pregnant with Milani?
I got pregnant 2 months after our wedding.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. And then I had her at 21.
Okay.
So yeah, you know.
We was quick with it.
Boom, boom, boom. But that was like.
I see then I see where you're coming from. You just got married. Again, it's something somebody always dreams about. And then you have, you get pregnant and you want to share that same excitement as when you got married.
Yes. And it wasn't that. Like, I was very, very tired. You know how it is. Like when you get pregnant, your body's making an eyeball. So you're
all the energy you got goes to the baby.
No, literally, especially in the first trimester. So I was sleeping a lot and they were kind of talking shit about me. And I was like, dang. Because one day he asked me, he was like, can you clean the bathroom? And I was like, yeah, after my nap.
Right.
And so I'm like laying down and I hear him cleaning and I'm like, so I get up and I'm like, I told you to wait. Like, I'll clean it. I just wanted to take a nap. And he was like, what my sister said was right. And I was like, what'd your sister say? You know what I mean? I got real mad. I was like, what'd your sister say? And he was like, go ask her. And I was like, I'm asking you. And then I don't remember how that came about, but he pretty much said, like, they just said, like, you're lazy pretty much. Like, you don't do anything. And I went into that bed. I started crying and I started applying for a shit ton of jobs. And I got 3 jobs that damn near that day or the next day. And they were sick because I was like never home. I was always working after that. I worked at Windsor and I worked at Bath and Body Works and I worked somewhere else. I forget.
Wow.
Where. Yeah, I was working hella. And then.
And you were pregnant at the time?
I was pregnant.
What?
It was my first trimester too. And I was fucking exhausted because I did.
And a Scorpio never wants to hear that they're not doing the most.
Yes.
Because then that's when the fire comes in you and you're like, okay, y'all want me to see, want to see my best.
First I cried and then I was like, okay, well now I have to show you that you got me fucked up. Like
prove them wrong. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but towards the middle of my pregnancy, I was fainting all the time. My blood pressure was so high. Like I couldn't even work at that point. They were like, you need to be on bed rest because I was fainting at work.
Shit.
And like I would just keep blacking out. So I was just so frustrated because I was like, I was finally like on my shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now I can't even do it because I was just I had preeclampsia so bad with Milani. Like I would swell. I almost had to cut my wedding ring off my finger because my finger turned black. Like it was just really, really bad. So I just felt super unappreciated when I was pregnant. And
unworthy.
Really, 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 really. I pretty much lived at my mom's house, pregnant and when I had her. So after I have her, I left. What?
No, we're good. Sorry, I'm just making sure it's still recording.
No, you're good. He was like kind of stuck in, like, I feel like he was just scared to be a dad. You know what I mean? Like
he wasn't ready.
Yeah, he wasn't because I remember when I was pregnant, I would be like, okay, so go out all you want right now because when we have the baby, you're not going to be able to do this as much. And he would go out and I didn't trip. But then we had the baby and he was still going out. And it was almost worse because one, he wasn't working for the first couple months of her. So he would go out on weekdays even. Like,
oh, wow.
Yeah. And he would stay out
till like Thursdays, that early bird, little Latin nights.
Girl.
That was me.
He would stay out till
waking up at like 5 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Like, where are you at?
Yes.
And then it's like the bar and the club closed already.
Right. That's literally how I felt. I was like, and he knew. One, I was a super, super anxious first mom. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would literally watch her sleep because I was scared. She had amniotic fluid in her lungs. I had her 3 weeks early. And she would breathe funny in her sleep. So it would freak me the fuck out. And she was also super sick her first couple months when I was getting her vaccinated. So I was like really scared. And he came home. It was a Wednesday. I remember all this because it was the day I really wanted to fucking suffocate him with a pillow. Like, I remember I was like staring at him sleep. I was like, I'm going to put this pillow over your head and act
the toxic traits of a Scorpio.
I was like, I'm going to act like I don't even know what happened. You just, no, but really, because I told him he got home and I was like, hey, can you stay up with her for a little bit so I can take a little nap? Because I had been like literally up for probably 48 hours. And he was like, yeah. And he lays down and I come back from the bathroom and I hear him snoring. And I was like, you fucking bitch. You know, so I just sat there. I just remember there were a lot of nights like that where I would just sit there and stare at her and cry. And I'd just be like, I'm so sorry. I hate this so much.
You know how many times I've apologized to my babies?
That's the worst. And isn't that the worst feeling? Like feeling like you have to apologize to them because they didn't ask to be here.
Right. They didn't ask for all this.
Right. They didn't ask for a fucking crazy depressed mom. Like I was it was really bad. So, yeah.
Wow, that was deep.
I feel like that's when my marriage started to kind of go downhill. Yeah. Because I had some resentment towards his family for talking about me.
Right.
And then resentment towards him because I was like, you don't care enough to be here and present for these important parts of her life. And I was like I said, Milani's my angel baby.
Right.
And I cling to her. I put a lot of a lot of, what is that? What word am I looking for? Responsibility? Does that sound right?
Like you've put a lot into her.
Expectation on her. Like she's my rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I was real fucked up. And when I didn't have her, like I literally was really weird with her. Like I didn't want, I struggled passing her off to people.
Right.
Because I would be like, oh my God, where's my baby?
No, that connection. No, I get that.
You know, like I didn't even like to leave her. Like I would take
While
her to
you were
my
at
shoots.
work type.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like I would literally take her to shoots. I wouldn't even ask anyone to watch her. I would just be like, I could take her. And I would put her on the front or on the back with the little book bags. Yeah, she was I would do everything with her. So, yeah, I just felt super neglected and super unappreciated by him and his family. And
understandable.
Yeah, that was whenever I decided to cheat. And that became a big, what would that be?
Insecure? Oh, no.
Like I had to.
Would you call that a mistake? Because you said.
Well, yeah. But, okay. So it is a mistake. But I consciously did it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's fucked up. And I feel like I like. After we discussed the whole cheating, he took me back. He didn't make me leave. He stayed with me. But he treated me differently. Yes. He spoke to me differently.
Ooh,
literally,
like he lost respect.
Yes. Like I will never forget. He said, he told me to make him something to eat or something. And he said it rude. He was like, go make me something to eat. And I was like, and he was like, if you don't, I'll find somebody who will. And when he said that to me, I was like, okay. Like, you know, like I didn't even know how to take that. Like, I was like, damn. But I was taking it because I was like, I deserve it. I cheated.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I did it a lot, like for a long time.
You were putting up with the things you didn't deserve because.
Yes. Because I felt guilty. And that's something that, I don't know. I broke our trust. So it was like, I felt like I deserved that. Almost.
But I think that you should talk about why you cheated because I know we've had this conversation before.
Yeah. I just felt super like I said, I felt neglected and I didn't feel loved. He didn't ever really.
He wasn't pouring into your cup.
No. And didn't speak my love language at all.
There you go.
At all.
I just wanted, like, I don't want people to come into this podcast, hear what you have to say, and for you not to kind of like, not fend for yourself.
Yeah.
But to kind of show them where you were in a headspace, you know?
Yeah. Because keep in mind, it's never okay to cheat.
Right.
But there are usually
reasons.
Like, factors.
Not saying we're
defending a cheater.
We're defending. Exactly.
But there's usually.
We all cope through our trauma different ways. And not just trauma, but our emotions.
Yes. But also, cheating never has to do with the person that. You know what I mean?
State that.
Yeah.
State that again.
Say
that again.
Because it was me. I was feeling insecure. I was feeling neglected. And that's why I cheated. You know? Like, I was looking for that validation from somebody else because I wasn't getting it from the source I wanted to get it from.
Right.
And it's fucked up, but that's what happens, man. And you just got to kind of grow from it, because I did, yeah, I don't know. Like, it sucks. I still to this day, something that I'm trying to forgive myself for, because at the end of the day, he's a great man. You know what I mean? He didn't deserve that. He didn't even really realize where I was at. Even though I communicated it to him multiple times, I don't think he understood the depth of it.
Yeah.
Like, I think he just was like, oh, she'll be okay.
Right.
When I wasn't okay at all. So yeah, I'm a super big on communication. So every time I ever felt any type of way, like if I felt unhappy, and that was another thing, I was relying on him to make me happy, which is something that you can't do at all, because
you're relying, or what were you saying? Yeah, you're relying on other people to make you happy,
and feel fulfilled.
Yeah, to feel fulfilled.
And you can't do that, because you have to know yourself enough and love yourself enough to do that for yourself. And okay, so after I cheated, we kind of just mended it and
covered it up.
Yeah, and I had another 2 or 3 miscarriages, and it was 2 miscarriages, and then I had a stillbirth. And then this is where I feel like that's where I kind of just was like, I lost all hope for our relationship, kind of. I was on the phone, I was walking down the stairs, and I fell down the stairs, and I landed like on my front. And all of them were at the bottom of the stairs. And the first thing he said was, it's because she's on her fucking phone. And that's like all I hear whenever I talk about this story. But yeah, so they were just all standing over me. Nobody asked me if I was okay. Nobody helped pick me up. Nothing. And I waited about 5 minutes, and I grabbed my phone and I walked up the stairs, and he was trying to help me, and I was like, don't touch me. And I go to the bathroom, and I'm having a panic attack, because I'm like, oh my God, I really just hurt myself. I had like scratches of my arm from trying to stop myself from falling. And I just wanted to leave. I was like, I'm leaving. I'm going to pack my bags and I'm going to go. And I started to pack my bags, but I was too dizzy. So I was like, I'm going to just go to sleep. But after that, 2 or 3 days, I was in excruciating pain. Like, couldn't even breathe through the pain. Looking back now, I was having contractions, but like, I was like, what the fuck is going on? I'm hurting. I need to go to the hospital. I go to the hospital. They do like blood work and a pee test, and they're like, oh, we can't give you a x-ray because you're pregnant. And I was like, no, I'm not. Because I had just had my period. I had my period every month, girl. So I had no clue. None. So they take me to the ultrasound. Sorry.
You're good.
They take me to the ultrasound, and there's a baby in there. She couldn't do the vaginal, so she had to do the top. And they didn't get to tell me how far along I was or anything. Like, looking back, I could have sued for everything, because there was just a lot of things that they didn't do right.
The procedures and stuff.
Yeah. So she was like, because she went to look at the heart, and before she even got to the heart, I knew the heart wasn't beating. You can usually see it, like. Right. And I was like, damn. And she was like, I'm so sorry. Like, we have 2 options. You can either get a DNC or you can miscarry. We'll give you like a little pill and it'll just help you. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'll just miscarry, because I've already had it so many times. I was too scared to get a DNC. She was like, okay. So 2 weeks with that baby in my stomach. And I would just cry every day. I would lay in bed and I would be like, oh. Like, there is a kid in me, and I'm not going to get to love it or hold it or nothing. And I would cry, and I would cry. And when I told him, he cried. But I felt like it didn't hurt him enough. And that sounds fucked up, right? But it really hurt my feelings that he didn't care enough.
Right.
Because at that time, I felt like my whole world fell apart. Yeah. Because I was just like, damn, like, And I don't even know why, honestly. I don't know why I was had those emotions, because I didn't even know I was pregnant until that all happened. But it hurt me, like, real bad. Yeah, he didn't hurt enough for me. So then I finally, one day I wake up and I stand up, and I'm talking about, it rushes, like blood just rushed out of me, and I was like, ew, 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 and I was in so much pain. So keep in mind, no one knows about that at all, like, at that time. And I tell my mom, I was like, I have to go to the doctor. And my mom's like, are you okay? Because I was literally like white. I was losing too much blood. I couldn't stop it from coming out. Like, I literally had a diaper on to try to keep it from, but I kept bleeding through them.
Wow.
Yes, I was like bleeding that much. So my mom watches the baby, and I go to the hospital, and I'm telling them what's going on. And they're like, we need to get you to labor and delivery. Like, they rush me in there, and she's like, you need to push. And I was like, I cannot push. She was like, you have to push. And I was freaking out, and I pushed the baby out, and she tried to give him to me, and she was like, you want to hold him? And I was like, no, I don't. And I couldn't even cry at that time. Like, because pushing, it just makes you exhausted. I was literally like dead. But 2, I was just so like, I was like, I know I will be fucked up. But I seen everything. I seen the toes. I seen the fingers. You could see the private part. Like, you could see everything. It was just like a little alien, like a little alien baby. But it's scarred. It's like stuck in my head. And I remember calling him and crying and telling him, and he was just like, I'm sorry. But that was like, I was depressed for a very long time off that. Like, a very long time. Sometimes I catch myself going back into it, just because it's like, I don't think I ever really fully healed from it. I didn't bury the baby, anything. I donated. It sounds so bad, but I donated, like, I don't even want to talk about it. It makes me sad. But yeah, so that was just kind of like my breaking point, and I tried to move past it for a long time, but I couldn't. And still to this day, then I got pregnant.
You were tired of the tunnel.
Yeah, no, the tunnel. And then I got pregnant with Denelli, and I literally tried to kill myself through that whole pregnancy. Because I remember when I pushed, I said, I don't want any more children. I don't want any more kids ever again.
So you weren't even thinking of having any more kids?
No, I didn't want them. I was scarred. Like, I was traumatized.
Right.
And there was a few times I was just like, why? Because some days I would want a baby, and then other days I would be like, what is going on? You know what I mean? It was just
you were lost. You were... Yeah. And when you have kids, you have no time to even heal or sometimes even think.
Yes.
You know, how are you supposed to do all that while having kids?
And it was so crazy. This is why I say Milani is my angel. She's my angel baby. Because she felt me, like, be sad. She could literally sense. It was so weird. Every time I was about to do it, she would come up to me and just hold me and be like, I love you, mommy. And that was, at the time, was the only thing she knew how to say.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, stop.
Yeah. Or be like, are you okay? Yeah. And the last time I tried it, I was sitting there in the bathroom, and I had the pills in my hand, and I'm about to do it. And Nani walks in the bathroom, and she was like, she said, Mommy, are you okay? And I was like, and it just made me cry. I could not stop crying. And she was like, she like grabbed my face, and she just wiped my tears off of me, and she was like, it's okay, Mommy. And I was like, oh my God. You know, like, I couldn't stop crying because I was like, you are my angel. Right. You know, it was so sad. I don't know. So then I have her and I'm just like, oh, you know, I feel so bad because I look at her and all I could think of is how badly I didn't want her.
Wow.
Yeah. I had no connection with her the way I did with Milani. Like, that was one thing. My husband made up for what I was not giving her.
Right.
And it, you know, it made me hate him.
Right. Because he couldn't have been that person when you needed him to be.
No, and that's not even it. Like, I was jealous for Nani.
Oh.
Like, I looked at him, love, and be so, like, clingy with Denelli. And with Milani, he didn't have that at all. So I would watch him do that and it would piss me off.
Right.
I would literally be like, you have a favorite. I still mess with him now. But like,
In real life, that's how you feel.
In real life, yeah. I would be like, you are hurting my feelings.
Yeah.
Like, doing that. Like, and I think it's because I'm the oldest. And I went through that with my dad. Mm-hmm. My dad was like super, super clingy with Alyssa. And I was like, I never got that.
Right.
And I watched him do that and it hurt my feelings. I would be like, ugh. But that's really when I decided. I was like, I gotta go. I woke up one morning and I finally felt like I had the strength to say, I have to walk away from this.
Oh.
And it was sad. It was so sad. Like, it was so crazy though at the same time, because when I walked away, I didn't really care. Like, I felt good.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. The feeling. Yeah.
And he was so devastated because he didn't see the problem. But it was because I feel like he didn't see the problem was because I was doing my best to love him in his love language and meet him where he needed to be met. But he wasn't doing that for me. So I felt all of that, like, this isn't meant to be type shit. You know what I mean? So I finally was like, okay, it's time to walk away.
Right.
And I felt really good. But then there were days that it would break me. I would see him. He would come pick up the girls. And I would literally, as soon as he walked away, I would just bawl my eyes out. Mm-hmm. And it was just so sad. But the way you said you were going through a growth spurt, I feel like my growth spurt is now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm starting to understand, because I'm talking about this, looking back, I'm starting to just now, like, I'm like, damn.
Bro, you've been through a lot. And it's not, I mean, I don't want to say that this is a dark story, but it's a dark story. But, like, it was like trauma on top of trauma.
Yeah, back to back.
Right?
Back to back.
It's like people's lives are deeper than others.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I have to remind myself always. Like, whenever I feel like it's really hard, I try to remind myself, this is not the worst.
Right.
This is not the worst it could get.
I mean, I respect you for going into detail and giving all the rawness. You know, I might have not went into detail, but this is exactly what people need to hear.
Yeah. But see, that's something that I try to do is I feel like it makes me feel better.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't.
It's like you're admitting to the life that you're living. You're not holding anything back. Like, you're not ashamed. I mean, I would even say you're not ashamed of kind of telling people your story. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But okay. So yeah. Right now I'm on this journey, right, of really figuring. I've definitely built a lot of confidence.
Right.
It definitely,
you're building that superwoman.
Yeah.
Stance.
Yeah.
Those morals for yourself. What you want to settle for, what you don't want to settle for, type thing.
Yeah. Luckily, and the best part is I get to do it with somebody who wants that for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yes, we're separated.
Right. But he still supports you.
But he still supports me. And we both want what's best for our kids. And he literally always, since day one, has always said, like, you're going to be great.
Right.
But to be great, you have to know yourself.
Yeah.
You have to have a sense of self.
Right.
And I don't. I still am figuring out. Like,
so this is why we say different levels of growth, because we're at different levels. You know, the next person, whoever's listening to it, your level might be totally different from ours. So I think that's why we wanted to start off with our stories.
Yeah.
Because it's important to really accept your story.
Yeah.
I mean, again, Risc, when we started talking about our first episode, of course we wanted to start with the story so you guys get to know us. But not just that, how much do you want to tell?
Yeah.
And maybe in the next episode or the next season, it will get deeper and maybe we'll start opening up more. I mean, at least me.
Yeah.
Because, you know, again, when we did the practice round, I'm like, yo, Risc, you went into detail and I didn't go into much detail. But you know what? I have to accept that that's where I'm at right now.
Right.
So we think it's very important for each episode to kind of reflect and go back and kind of reevaluate, you know, where your head is at after listening to our podcast. So we put together a PDF file.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this or listening to this, the link will be down below. If you're listening to this, we will put this on our social media platforms so you can download it straight off of there.
So the activity for today, I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. So I want you to write down every single bridge, whether it be people in your life, habits that you have, things that you do, whatever it may be, whatever you're connected to. I want you to write that down. And I want you also to reflect and think, is it giving me power?
Ooh.
Or is it taking away that power? Does it drain me or is it fulfilling me? Because I feel like you were saying, like the friendship stuff, like
right.
We have a lot of unnecessary baggage.
Ooh.
You know?
Yes.
And we need to learn how to let that go.
Yeah.
Because what you're connected to either gives you power or it takes away. So you need to learn what it is that is giving you that, like, push to be who you want to be. Like,
right.
That's what we need to start thinking about, is what is serving me and what is
keeping you in that dark tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
We got to find the light.
Yeah.
We need to stay connected to ourselves and be our own light and stop looking to fulfill it through other people.
Yes.
Find ourselves, find what drives you, your passion, and all that good stuff. So our self-reflection activity will give you a little bit, it will get you a little bit closer to yourself.
Agreed.
So, yes, this is the extended self-package season, and this is episode 1. My story, The Big Shift.
The Big Shift. Peace out, Girl Scout.
Later.